welcome back to all of you wonderful viewers tuning in here to the ESL One Genting B stream. The group stage continues, and our best of three, the first one of the day. Well, game one went the way of compLexity, and it was pretty nicely done by them.
Yeah, they executed well. I wouldn't say that it was completely one-sided, but definitely they had a clear plan in mind. Did what they wanted to do, and Plant Dog didn't really get much traction with their style. Yeah. And game two, they need to take a win here, else compLexity are going to simply 2-0 them.
Absolutely. Well, they remove out the Tiny and the PL this time. Get rid of both of those nasty heroes. While compLexity, identical bans to game one, I want to say. ET, Brewmaster,
yes,
definitely.
Those are exactly the bans that they had in the first game.
So not changing anything at all.
Yeah, why break a winning concept, right? So like we said back then, it's still Elder Titan being some respect ban over to Milan. I actually played a lot with his Elder Titan recently as well in pubs, just running into him. And Enchantress being removed as well. So the respect is mutual, you know, different heroes. And boom, game two.
First pick
straight out the bat, they're like, let's go. They want to take a quick and early control of this game. And all picks are available, though, to counter this. And there are plenty of good counters to Lycan. He's still a very powerful hero, though. You need to do it cleanly and find a good way to deal with him. Their approach is going to be the Tidehunter. Obviously, Kraken Shell is amazing, and the Anchor Smash is really good for lowering all the damage of the Summon Army. So that's one way to do it for sure. But they still can't quite just sack a Tide and think that he's going to be fine against Lycan plus whatever support he has, because he's a powerful laner. He's going to deny a lot. And that could very well be the hero that's going to be with the Tidehunter in that quest.
Tide and Sand King. Oh, man. Yeah. That looks really nice.
It looks clashy.
Just butt heads, right? You know, two rams on a mountain. Just
honestly, that's pretty much the approach for shutting down the Lycan in the early game. You do not want to sit back and give him space. You just want to be in his face, make sure that he has to hit you instead of hitting creeps, particularly his own creeps.
It's punchy.
Yeah, just fights. We'll see what kind of a lane partner they are going to go with. Witch Doctor comes to mind for compLexity if they expect there to be a dual lane. Also, a Maledict is quite good against Tidehunter when he thinks he can tank up against the Lycan. Eventually, he just ticks down and starts losing a lot of HP. That is at least one alternative. They could also secure a position 4. Or why not Z-Freak Rubik against Ravage, Epicenter, and Burrow Strike.
Seems pretty freaking good, right?
That's true. I'm sure that Z-Freak just made an executive call and said, yo, just
Rubik.
Just give me. Come on.
Just give me Rubik.
It doesn't matter.
So, Lycan used to be played mid lane, and compLexity is one of those teams that I could very easily see just like going...
All right, yeah, pulling a fast one.
Yeah, just do a sneaky thing like that. But I haven't seen it in several months, or even a year.
It can definitely be done still. Much like our team in the finals, I believe, of the qualifier we just played, we did the Legion Commander mid. There are a few strength heroes who can still rock it out mid. Lycan, simply because of his high damage, I definitely believe you can do it. However, mid lane's very often not just a 1v1, right? Like, you're not going to be a Lycan against a Queen or Puck alone. You're going to be mid, and there's going to be 4 other heroes around you guys on top of the just matchup. So in that situation, Lycan is quite boring. He doesn't do that much. He doesn't provide that much. It's not easy to gank for him. It's not easy to save him.
But he's not an action hero until he has an item.
Exactly. He plays better around the safe lane because there he can control the lane, deny, and pull back. Whereas mid lane, if you deny too much, you're just under tower, and then it's going to push again.
Much more volatile.
Exactly. So the lane balance is not so valuable in the mid lane.
Well, DP Puck taken out by Planet Dog, removing even more of that push as they get themselves an SF.
Well,
now,
you're not going to want a mid Lycan against that, I can tell you. Nope. So that's going to be forcing him at least to the safe lane if he doesn't want to start there already.
But they have the option of SF Clockwork here, but picking Clock alongside Sand King Tidehunter is not happening.
It would be sort of having triplets, in a sense, the Tide, Sand King, Clockwork.
3 tanky strength melee heroes.
Yeah, I mean, they're too similar. There's a point in Dota where heroes become too similar and it doesn't really work out so well. We actually had it happen earlier this stream where we had an Abaddon and a Legion Commander, which I said in the draft that those are basically the same hero, and very often that doesn't do too well. another example is that Queen of Pain and Puck seldom have a good success rate together.
Yeah.
Apart from when they're with a drow, then it can work. You know, it has been done.
That kind of deal works out nicely. So
Yeah.
Cole come back with their Tusk, likely for Kyle, rounding out their first couple of picks nicely. And this also it plays really nicely into their kind of team dynamic as well, right? Because now Moo has potential 4th or 5th pick, more likely the 4th pick. Able to see, 4 heroes here from Planet Dog, know his matchups, know a little bit more about what kind of supports he's going to be against. And we know that Moo, very skilled in playing these kind of aggressive off-laners. But with the Witch Dogs are picked up, maybe some of that aggression gets dissipated with both Maledict and Cask being super good.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going to be playing in the end. Definitely still Omni Knight is not a bad pickup for them. That's available to them as well. I think it was really nice that they went with Tusk because that adds also a BKB piercing disable that they can actually... Ooh, nice. That they can break the Shadow Fiend ulti with. So Tusk ulti is going to be really good for that. But they go for the Chessie TA. Now Chessie is very well versed with that hero, so this is going to be interesting. And it also puts a lot of attention to that hero. TA is not a hero that you pick and then the enemy ignore it. It's a hero that you pick and the enemy need to do something, or you're going to have 15, 16 minute Deso and Blink.
Yeah.
And at that point, the game is going to be very tough to be a Witch Doctor in.
Or even an SF.
Or SF, or actually anyone at that point. But this will potentially free up space for Lycan, and that's a dangerous thing if he gets the Helm of Dominator Necrobook. So I like the 2 cores, the way they work in that sense. And you also have the Howl on the first creep wave, where first creep wave is super important for Shadow Fiend, and now you're buffing up the damage for a TA against SF. Very potentially, we could see SF get denied quite a bit on the first wave, which sets the tone for the lane.
Yeah.
Sounds like an overly complicated thing that I'm saying here, but this can actually completely decide a Shadow Fiend's game.
You get level advantage on TA, you get to drag it back onto your ramp, all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. So I think they
your
have
way.
to start mid with either Witch Doctor or Sand King has to be there.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, that's a solution too. I think Witch Doctor alone should be fine. Which leads me to believe, if they want to mess with Lycan and with TA, they kind of need a self-sustaining safe laner. Something that can do well on its own, that doesn't really need babysitting on Planet Dog. So
Something that can 1v1 Moo's hero.
exactly, and that's the downside, is that they have yet to see what that hero is, but they will see it though soon enough. So they will still get the pick last, right? Since the ban is over on compLexity.
Well, I've got a tough decision to make. Remove the Sven. compLexity. What is your plan then?
Yeah, Sven is a typical carry against Lycan. A lot of teams really like it because the Warcry gives so much armor against Lycan. However, a good use of the Necrobook can kind of counteract that by purging away the armor. So it's good and it's not. But at least the cleave is super good against the Lycan.
When you have that kind of gyro
All
effect,
right.
where we used to see gyro very good against Necro units, but also very bad. Just the fact that if you have the
Razor or Monkey King?
Razor or Monkey
I
King?
have to say, those are like the 2 by far best options here, I think. I'm sorry, I cut you out, but this is
That's fine.
their last moments here.
You have to get that call in. You have to.
Yeah, exactly. Because soon enough they're gonna be forced to pick. But this, they need a self-sustaining laner. It's gonna be against Omni, and Monkey King, of course, with the Django Mastery, does super well against that. And they can't really lane switch it either, because against Lycan, he's not too bad either. Razor it is. All right. So a very, very clean matchup there for Razor, and we're gonna see if compLexity are gonna switch up the way they lane it in any way, because Omni against Razor is almost a complete destruction 1v1. Like, you can basically not do anything at all, and that would be almost to the point that winning the other 2 lanes is not even worth it if you're gonna lose one lane that hard, and no one will need to help the Razor, so they're gonna be able to play to the other lanes. I like Planet Dog's situation here a little bit more overall.
Yeah, I've got their setup working well if they can get it all done the way they want to. But compLexity, I'm not sure about Limp's. I'm not sure about Limp's cosmetics here on the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, he needs to step that up. I'll talk to him later. Actually,
Good.
I'll send him a message after this game.
Sort it all out. Honestly,
Win or
because
lose,
this
I'm
is
definitely dealing with this.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
Kyle is pretty swagged out though. Look at that, the tusk looking very pretty there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But it's complexity, one game to the good in this best of 3. Planet Dog looking to potentially even things out here with the way they've kind of set
Max
things up
Tidehunter is... What the hell is
He's got everything. He's got every item imaginable equipped. He's got a shark inside of that.
It's like on top of each other.
That's the greatest thing is that the shark is a hat that's treated as a back item, and then the what do we call it? The diver's metal helmet, whatever the frick it's called, the old timey diving suit.
Yeah,
there's also
the
a
diver's
hat.
clock almost, but the helmet. Yeah.
Well, away we go into game number 2. As didn't do that. Before I forget, press all the little console commands, get ourselves underway. So,
beautiful.
Limp on the Templar Assassin.
Okay, now
leaves Chessie on the Lycan.
Now that we're loading in, I can see he has a nice mantle for a TA set at least. That cred to whoever's set that maybe. That's beautiful.
She's got a funny walk.
She does have. It looks funnier with his cosmetics. It's his cosmetics' fault, honestly. She normally doesn't walk this way. It's Chessie's fault.
She's walking like a 4-legged animal walks, but she's only got 2 legs.
Yeah.
You think about how a horse gallops? She's galloping with...
It looks less natural when you go into that perspective.
Yeah.
When you look from above, it looks fine.
I'm going to stop doing that now. I don't want to zoom in and make her feel bad about the way she walks. Let's keep this positive body image going as smoke late here from Planet Dog. 30 seconds until the
that's
0.
a bounty rune contesting smoke is what they're trying to do, and they're also getting down wards during this smoke. So 1 ward planted during the ward. Oh, this is going to be tough to walk up though. They see Lycan.
Oh,
this
man.
is almost ideal if he walks up there, but he's going to stay on that high ground now. They could go north. This is tough. He's walking around to break smokes or just scouting. And he's conceding the rune. Alright. Nothing gained, nothing lost really from it though. Ultimately. They are going to get 3 runes though.
Still the triple from PD. I mean, Z-Freak might be in trouble here. He's being closed in on by both supports. Oh,
he has boots, so he should be fine.
Oh, he found a hidey hole.
Oh, he's in a bad spot actually.
Cask, Burrow Strike's too far away, even with the boots. Level 1 Burrow Strike's just so far from
Milan is angry at him though. Give him the Scorpion run.
That's such a nice play there from Rubik hiding there, while the Witch Doctor kind of tried to look for the vision cone across, didn't see him, so he looped around expecting the movement up.
Yeah, he was waiting.
Make sure to get himself away, and now middle lane.
So I'm a little bit surprised that Lycan didn't go for the Howl level 1. I feel like it would be ideal for his team to go for it, but still, Limp actually being the one playing TA. Alright, the other brother, I need to talk to them. A little bit surprised that they didn't go for a Howl play, but still doing great on the CS mid so far.
Yeah, 4-2. Cracking start, 1-0 on the SF only, and with Rubik here, Milan kind of has his work cut out for him, forces the Burrow Strike very early on, but Z-Freak's going to be just fine with that. He's got his Fade Bolt ready to go in a second, but under the tower, Limp playing aggressively.
Yeah, Sanking has to come in and bail out a little bit to make sure SF doesn't miss any last hits here, or too many at least.
Meanwhile, top lane, Chessie and Kyle. Again, we're seeing these pairings. Limp and Z-Freak, Chessie, Kyle. They're playing the...
They just swapped around.
Yeah, the 2-2-1, and now Moo alone in a lane against the Tidehunter, doing very well so far, but we expect this to potentially change a little bit with Anchor Smash coming through. How do you feel about this lane in the 1v1?
It's kind of tricky, actually. I would say that Tidehunter can win it, actually.
So I know when we used to see Tide against Axe, there's Tide has these kind of swings back and forth, right?
Well, what I would say is that if Tide has a good start here and he manages to get to a point where he has level 3 first, which he does in this game, but only just barely, then he can start denying a lot with the Anchor Smash and then last hitting.
Regen rune, nice there for the SF.
Definitely, that comes in clutch. So he still has his Salve and Tangos available, and even gets a race with the Regen rune on, getting some nice value.
Free raise. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
That one costs him, but still securing CS as this mid lane eyed up by Milan. Double observer wards around this mid lane as well, looking for rotations, looking for where this Rubik is sitting, but also Kyle's Tusk. Definitely an option to bring in and TP to this mid lane to try and kick things off. But we'll see how things pan out.
Z-Freak getting stunned, but I don't know if he's gonna go down. There is a stinger on him, but... Oh, he didn't realize they was out of mana. I think maybe he could have committed for that kill.
I would be panicking there about a lift into tower and then...
Yeah, exactly. But since he used the Fade Bolt, he didn't have mana for anything else. So maybe he could have gone a nice first blood there. Definitely worth even dying for if you get it. But
oh man, look at that limp.
Yeah, got a nice side blade.
Double.
And that's level 1 side blade. It's a lot easier to land them when you have level 2 on them, actually. So, gonna get even scarier soon. The Sanking is ready to stab around to.
Come on.
Okay, come the 3-man gank.
Oh, limp.
Can they save him?
Nice refraction timing. Maledict is in. Limp trying to play aggressively back into Milan. They've got Kyle here with shards and Snowball. Milan may be in a spot of bother as they get themselves on top of the Sand King. And the side blade splash back onto the SF as the final move of that fight to really rub salt in the wounds there.
Yeah.
Limp is dominating this lane, doubling up. Well, no, it's not doubling up. 32 to the 12, if you all CS considered.
Yeah, for sure. So that's even more than doubling up.
It's almost tripling.
Almost tripling up. Yeah. He must be 3 times the player.
Oh, wow.
Kyle getting some stinger on him here from Milan. He's going to use his shards, getting away safely.
Good little
People have really learned to use the shards to maximum efficiency, like the spell is so useful for many things. Locking the enemy in place, keeping creep waves back.
Pushing yourself up onto high ground.
Pushing yourself down from high ground.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
And really, Jirax and Kuroki kind of showing that off in great detail over the past several months on that Tusk, and really the 2 players that made it a reason why this hero has been so very popular recently.
Yeah. I love how similar very often Crit and Jerax are as players. Normally it's like, super good Earth Spirit player, super good Earth Spirit player. Like you can see so many similarities in them when you watch their play on Position 4.
The Scandinavian genes.
Must be.
Ancients being stacked here by the Rubik, building up for this TA. And you were mentioning that timing, the kind of 15-16 minute deso into Blink Dagger for the Templar Assassin, super important, and Ancient stacks and clearing them, a huge part of that, right? The fact that Limp will leave the lane, give it to someone like the Rubik to leech experience, get a bit of gold while you farm stacks.
The big timing for him to go and clear his Ancient is going to be when he has Power Treads. Oh, they're going for a kill here. Beautiful lift by Zedfreak, but of course, the TPing, they have to back off after that. We haven't talked too much about the other lanes in general. Lycan not having too good of a start here, as he's the one paired up against the Razor, but also not too bad of a start. It's not really horrible, and he's getting something. I feel like that's enough on that lane. And on bottom lane, Omni Knight is doing really good against the Tidehunter. He's winning by quite a margin. So,
and this is in kind of stark comparison to what we were looking at in the draft, where you were expecting the Razor against the Omni to have that really great laning matchup, then the Tide tries to deal with a Lycan.
That's what they tried to get as well. It was just a lane swap, right? So the off-lane Lycan is what essentially did it. Yeah. And if you TP swap, then there's just going to be a counter TP swap. So if you get to the lanes and the lanes are not the way you wanted them, and you're on the side lanes, and you want to be on the other side lane, then you're basically screwed until a core gets killed. Oh, speaking of a core getting killed.
Shadow Fiend is not having a great time. Nearly gets the second raise off, which could have led to the downfall of Limp. And he's dropping low here with the Maledict, but only level 1, I believe. J4 unable to really secure enough nuke damage there with the help of his team.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Salving up with the Refraction as well. One of the most lovely things ever, having the Refraction on you when you Clarity and salve on the mid lane. The enemy simply cannot do anything about it. So good. You can even do it mid-fight if you feel really confident that the enemy can't break the Refraction. You can heal up quite a bit.
Bottom lane, there's a backstab coming in onto Mag. Moo.
Very likely he's going to go down here as well. He doesn't have much counterplay as long as they save a TP cancel, and they do have one. They missed the heal though, but still probably gonna get the kill. That's how dead he is. They missed their main source of damage.
The huge level 4 purification.
Yeah, and still he dies easily. And TA now with the traps starting to lay down. That's gonna make it much harder to close the distance and actually kill her. And Lycan's closing in on level 6, and Ditcha not getting the biggest damage steals on this lane. He gets 26 here or 30 there. But Jesse is still fine. Lycan hits really hard. Still even attempting some denies with it.
We'll see what he gets up to in a second, because snowball in.
Yeah.
With the shards there, Ditchira goes for the TP. Maybe he's going to escape. Nicely
he got it.
done.
If they just had a little bit more experience on Chessie there, he would be able to ulti, and of course the 40% chance to crit would be very, very good for him.
Would have been huge. So Limp still with Ancient Stacks to go. Treads have just arrived. Oh, he's waiting for the Blightstone. Wants that to come out to him, as he's got traps across this mid lane, giving so much vision for any kind of backstabs coming in. And J4 given the lane to leech out. A bit of experience here. And
Beautiful
needs Milan
damage.
to save
They're
him.
killing him.
Shards are there, you're right. Look at this Limp coming in. One more slap down, and J4 takes a fall. Milan's going to be careful about this damage. They've got the reveal. The sentry is there, as he freak secures with a Fade Bolt to go down.
He just shows up at the right time on that Rubik, just sitting around, you know, friendly neighborhood Rubik.
All of a sudden, Rubik.
Yeah, and bottom lane is turning real difficult right now for Tide. He is at 42 CS, but right now it feels like he's losing control on this lane more and more. The heal is starting to just push him out of the lane. He doesn't have quite the HP regen to deal with this. Gotta go for a TP out, and barely gets out. If he TP'd a little bit later,
yeah,
that would have been a Purify.
Purification was coming. It was coming.
It's coming.
So, Planet Dog down 5-0. Oh, a 2k net worth lead at 9 minutes is not massive by any means, but it just feels like, you know, you get that gut feeling that they're falling behind, and unless something drastic happens,
they are
a big team fight win.
It's not incorrect to feel that way, because when you draft basically Tidehunter to counter Lycan, Racer to counter Omni, and you get complete mismatch on the lanes, this is not what you want to have happen. And you pick Razor very much because you want to win laning stage. So if laning stage goes poorly, yeah, you're actually a little bit in trouble. TA going for the Ancient Clear now, gets rooted. A little bit unfortunate there. Got too close to the Prowler.
Bloody Prowlers.
Yeah, and you also don't want to attack the Prowlers. They carry a lot of armor on them, so when you farm this, you want to ideally do what he's doing right now, which is to get the small Golem and Sideblade from that. Beautiful stuff.
Very important to watch the TA farming.
Yes, it is. It is. Nothing else is going on.
I'm so bad. That's a little bit on Wagga, but mostly on me.
Hey man, this Ancient stack is giving way more gold than those kills.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what are we looking at? Blink Dagger is going to be here after... Oh no, never mind. I didn't realize that he'd already cleared the northern camp.
Yeah.
400 or so gold away from Blink now. Puts Limp in a very nice position as he swings down towards bottom, looking to set up for a play around this tier 1. The catapult wave cleared away.
They don't really have the heroes to stop the defense here as well. The two of them, Witch Doctor and Tide, they can't really push this tower, I think. So
Limp
meanwhile,
is solo defending.
Yeah, he can hold this. And meanwhile, they're just farming up on Chessie. After taking that tower top with the Helm of Dominator now, he's going to be able to just, you know, keep farming a lot. Top tower needs to be defended. Tier 2, no one is there.
I mean, they were trying...
They're TPing in SF.
They were trying to dive Limp. They brought Sand King in. They swung Razor down, but it's just going to have to be a tier 1 take rather than a kill and an objective. And look at this. Kyle's shoving mid. You were right about top lane. Drops down to, what, half HP? With a catapult wave there.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage right there. And all the while, you know, everything is just being pressured in mid, Ancients are being farmed. This is really just compLexity doing what I talked about earlier. They picked two heroes who require a lot of focus to bring them down, and then Moo on a comfortable hero that he really enjoys playing, and he got a good matchup. He played against Tide, which, you know, like I said, either hero could honestly win, but Moo is very, very exceptional at playing these lanes.
Very 1v1 focused.
Yeah.
Nice repel. Moo's going to save up Kyle, but might have put himself in the firing line instead. But look at him go. Speedy little devil there with a face boot and the drums. And in the meantime, Limp has jumped in, found a kill already. Ditchira forcing back Kyle. But with another purification to shards, they'll get not one but two as Brania's ulti gets nothing.
If they stick around, they're going to lose even more. And meanwhile, Lycan is pushing for a tier 2 tower.
Oh, yeah.
So this is getting difficult to defend. You're TPing top, but now mid tier 1 is compromised, and suddenly you're being spread a little bit too thin. Zipfreak even smoking in here, might find J4.
So often, you know, as a layman kind of watching TA players...
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, super. You kind of understand, you know, the ebb and flow of the hero somewhat, but there's always been one thing that I've never been fully able to wrap my head around as Burrow Strike Milan looking for Zfreak here. with the help of Mag, still unable to really.
He has the death ward still, by the way. He never used it in that fight. Cedric just... I feel like I just click him and he has some random ulti always. Okay, not anymore.
Now it's
Poor Ninja took care of that.
So, Blink over Deso, or Blink before Deso, Deso before Blink.
So...
I feel like Deso is much better of a comeback item, and Blink is much more, we want to just go and make action happen now.
That's a fair assessment, yeah. In general, I would say for competitive games, maybe 70 or 80% of the time, you want to just go Blink first. Because that's going to allow you to actually do stuff with your team.
Oh, he's trying to do something with Kyle here, but...
Not going to be able to save Kyle. He's a little bit too far gone.
Still, like you mentioned earlier, Lycan is still top lane.
It's that constant annoyance on the top lane, and he's closing up on a Necrobook, so that's going to be even more pressure once he has it.
But Rubik has Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, no, for sure the Blink Dagger allows him to do so much more, and they can't quite catch him. He's so hard to kill right now because of it. It has, two purposes for TA.
Yeah, and I guess Blink, as always, is one of those kind of farm improvement, quality of life improvement items. Jump from camp to camp, move across the map, collect runes.
Honestly, yes. It's gonna speed up your farming by quite a bit, because as a TA, when you have level 4 faction, you farm camps extremely fast, so one of the biggest limiting factors is how fast do you move between the camps.
Yeah, I mean, remember that time when there was a period of maybe a month or something, especially in NA Dota, where Medusa was buying Blink Dagger.
Oh, yeah.
Just jumping from camp to camp, farming everything. Right, here we go. Planet Dog? No? Okay, well, Moo just walks away. He's unkillable, pretty much, I guess. He's very high level, 11 already. A medallion up with drums, phase boots, Guardian Angel all ready and raring to go.
And they're grouping up around the Lycan. They want to play towards him as a power hero. And meanwhile, just, try and take that tier 1 bottom. Always going for 2 objectives at the same time. Look at Kyle going for the courier snipe with that beautiful, lovely sound.
Got a bit of lag
it wasn't so satisfying. I just heard the...
I didn't hear the... Gadoosh.
Exactly.
Well, they kill the Witch Doctor. Yeah, we're getting some kind of Dota lobby lag, it looks like. I don't know. Just us on the spectator side of things as Chessie chasing in onto Piranha. They've got Milan with a Burrow Strike ready, but the repel! Chessie able to turn back, but they've got no reveal here to see Milan, so inside the Sandstorm, he will be fine. While down at bottom, they're angling in for Mag. Kyle, he's got the shards and the snowball ready. Just needs a bit of help here, but... Oh, Limp is being chased back by Ditira, so they are unable to really focus down on a kill as we finally get the kill message and the sound coming in. Lag has finally gone. There we go, wonderful.
Yeah, we're clear. It's cross the world casting, let's go. Well, Limp going in straight for Roshan here. They do have heals from Moo, so gonna bring him back up in HP. Need the help from Lycan to really bring this down, and he's coming. And I don't think they can do anything about it. Dire are simply not in position to defend this, so a great call to go Roche. And a lot of that is prep work, right? They force the Razor bottom, they play aggressive and kind of make Planet Dog react to what they're doing, and by doing so, they allow themselves.
Yule Scepter on Shadow Fiend now. Definitely one of those kind of stopgap items. You're building into something. You're building into your itemization later, right? Sure, it can give you a bit of save. Sure, it can set up for a Yule's Requiem onto one of these non-BKB heroes. Yeah. Especially a TA through Refraction.
TA is a pretty good target for it, and he's trying to get the Psyblade onto this Sand King, standing in the Sad Storm. Gets a few.
The Sad Storm.
The Sad Storm.
The Milan is definitely in a Sad Storm right now.
It is definitely the Sad Storm. And that's going to be a 1650 timing, pretty much. 1645 timing on the Deso Blink.
Nice.
It's definitely not a bad game at all for Limp.
With Aegis as well on top of it all. And then you look at Chessie's Lycan, Necro 2 just delivered.
You can almost not tell that Lycan was, being played as an offlaner against, especially against a Razor. Like, if you told me right now that this Lycan was laning against a Razor, I would, scratch my head a little bit.
Like, huh?
Yeah, it's not supposed to look that way. So things did not work out the way they're supposed to for Dota. Easy.
I've done the same thing.
Easy mistake. Planet Dog.
Planet Dog.
Very, very nice.
So grouping up as 5.
Why not Planet Cat, dude? PC Dota. Come on.
Yeah, why not? Planet Hamster. PH. Just go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Easy.
Why not?
So playing around Ravage now, PD definitely trying to hit some kind of teamfight timing. They've got Sand King ready with a Blink Epicenter after Burrow Strike, but it's going to have to be the Ravage from Mag that secures a kill on Moo, but even that is a difficult task to gain. Guardian Angel with Repel and Moo's escaping. He's mid lane. They do get the kill on Z-Freak as Kyle will take a fall here to Barania as well as did Ra, but bottom lane is in all sorts of trouble. J4 chase back into his base. Centaur and Necrarine is now swing back to focus onto the tier 2.
Yeah, and then top, Limp, he's just doing what he does. And he knows so many spells have been expanded. There's not really that much that can stop me right here.
There's nothing, right?
Yeah, deal tons of damage before backing out. And, that tower already lost almost 600 HP. This is really a beautiful way of playing it that compLexity are doing right now.
Even if there was like a Yule's Requiem, the only thing that can really touch Limp there still has the Aegis.
Well, the thing is that he doesn't have Blink yet on the SF, and even if he has, he picks it up right now.
Ah, yeah, you're
right.
But
even if he tries to Yule's Requiem, you have to do it perfectly, because else, since you don't take damage from the Yules, you can Blink away STA. If you do it a little bit poorly, yeah, exactly.
Spot on.
And he's gonna steal Ancients here. A triple stack, actually going the way of Limp.
Juicy.
I think they were actually the ones to stack it themselves, like Radiant. I believe they actually stacked the enemy Ancients. I'm not entirely sure on that though.
Don't see it.
But
often.
they've been playing on that part of the map for a long time, so it's possible.
Well, Chessie and Moo, tier 2 for them, easy peasy. Clear that one up with no trouble as top lane. Telekinesis into Sandstorm, but they've got the TP cancel. More importantly, dead Razor with buyback. But you're looking at a Razor 20 minutes in, phase, Aquila drums 1. You're like, okay, stats, small, incremental items, building up to something bigger. What is he got that's bigger? Oh, he's got 3,700 gold that's unspent.
A ton of money, yeah. I'm so surprised he didn't ever find a time to buy a plate mail. He can't buy it now on the courier, I suppose. No? He bought... Oh, he changed his mind. Going Talisman of Evasion. Halberd, it is.
Yeah, Halberd, I guess.
But meanwhile, the Rex is just gone. This is what happens when an entire team joins together after a long time of split pushing. And, oh, by the way, we have some auras. And TA is farmed, and Lycan is farmed.
Oh, we have minus armor for your buildings, and we have lots of units to hit that minus armor building.
Lycan just makes everything hit so disgustingly hard. It's actually insane to watch.
Strong stuff from compLexity. Planet Dog struggles on the horizon. The ladder is tall and greased up, and climbing it is not going to be an easy task at all.
That's a good metaphor for sure. They're sliding down the ladder right now, I think. This is not going the way they want. 15,000 gold advantage at 20 minutes. compLexity looking so solid.
I'm just sad there's
farming another stack.
No Venno or Viper in the game, or else you could have a Snakes and Ladders reference there. But
oh yeah,
not to be.
Not to be.
Limp, another stack for him. What are we up to now? Closing in on Hurricane Pike. Dragon Lance is already on the courier coming. Radiance is here for Moo. So we've just seen compLexity take down an entire lane of Rax. Sure, off the back of a solo pickoff.
They have to do something right now. This is the goal moment for Planet Dog. They have to make something happen. Yeah. They're going.
Repel, though, quickly in onto Chessie means that he's got free reign to run through this fight. Maybe they kill off Moo, but he gets his GA off in time. Purification Bomb is there, and Milan, he's dead. Screwed over. PD, they're done. Game is over, and GG is called. Milan taps out, and that's it for PD. compLexity will progress forward in ESL One Genting.
Man, compLexity, they really just, gave themselves a hard slap in the face after their previous performance where they got pretty much curb stomped in the first game. Not in this series, of course, in the previous series today. But they came back, took a 2-0 here really quick against Planet Dog and made it look quite easy. Second game definitely looked like a breeze. So, well done. And honestly, just a standout performance from every single player on the team. I think everyone played their part. They didn't die a single time on the Swedish brothers. The American brothers, they are the supports, and them dying doesn't really matter that much. That's a distraction, as they are just split pushing a lot. And of course, Moo didn't die a single time, played a stellar game of Omni Knight as well. When you're 3-course, do not die a single time.
Yeah.
I believe you can call that a pretty hard stomp.
Yeah, perfect game from the core heroes there. compLexity, well drafted, honestly, by Kyle. This series has been spot on from him,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely a step up from the best of one they lost earlier today. But
Kyle really impresses me. I think he has a really good understanding of how to win the laning stage early on and what to do for your cores to succeed. Like, he even made Lycan succeed on a lane against a Razor, which is not something that you would expect would be able to do anything. So, yeah, big props to the way they play the draft that they have, is what I want to say.
well, up next, another best of three. Our final best of three of the day, in fact. Vici Gaming going up against SG Esports.
Ooh.
That should be an interesting one.
Against Vici.
I don't think I've seen those two teams play.
We saw SG Esports earlier, right?
But I mean, the two together, I don't think I've seen them cross
the
paths.
matchup,
Yeah.
I can't remember ever seeing them against each other, no.
Should definitely be an interesting one, so make sure you stay tuned. Coming up in just a little bit, Vici Gaming against SG. Best of three for ESL One Genting. Got tournament lives on the line, as we'll take a short break and be right back with you.